Well, if you ever plan to motor west, take my way, that's the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66.
Well, thank you for tuning in. This is Matt Santos of The Mile High Show. You are listening to episode number 189, proudly coming to you from the Southside Tavern in beautiful historic Flagstaff, Arizona, for the Big Pine Comedy Festival 2018. A couple pieces of business to get out of the way first. I want to thank our sponsors for the show this week. Our recurring sponsor, Mr. Eric Vernier, owner of Big Daddy E's Barbecue in Chino Valley, Arizona. BDEBBQ.com is where you can find out information. Rob, how was that food?
Those ribs. I wish you would have.
Those ribs have big energy, just like the acronym.
The ribs they like melted off the bone.
Where's this place at?
In Chino Valley, Arizona, right outside of Prescott.
He brought them up. He brought them up, and they were fantastic.
Wait. When did you bring these up?
This morning.
Sorry.
I am so sad about this.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that's what you get for being late.
I'm gonna go
or as
first.
Bill pointed out, you're on time.
I very much was on time. Okay, I got here when it said on the schedule. Time out. I want to talk about these ribs.
The whole festival.
Well, here, let me get
festival stopped so we could all eat ribs.
Yo,
let's get this out of the way first.
Okay,
I have
make that money, baby. Make that money.
I have some gifts.
Oh, gifts.
Ma'am, what's your name? Ellen, I'm going to throw this at you, and I normally don't throw things at people, but here you go. We got a T-shirt from Big Daddy E's, BBQ.
Now you have to put it on right now. Take that shirt off.
No, the wet T-shirt contest starts a little later.
Ellen's a nice lady. How dare you?
What size you wear, Rob?
Large, extra large.
Try
depending on
that.
how
See if
much-
that'll work.
Large.
Try that.
Try that. See if that'll work.
Don't lie to these people.
Big
There's
Daddy
no
E's
video.
Barbecue in Chino Valley is the spot for barbecue in the Prescott, Quad, Cinco, whatever you want to call it, cities area in Yavapai County. Excellent food, and every Friday out in the patio, we call it the Tiny But Mighty Stage Singer-Songwriter Night. He has some great musicians
very cool.
from Yavapai County, from Prescott, a few from Phoenix, from
I
the
know
Birdie.
someone who can get him a comedy show over there.
Well, I've tried, but we try and keep it as family-friendly over there as well.
There's
It's an open-air
families.
patio.
There's
It's a
families.
family barbecue joint. This is the key to it, though. He has a liquor license. I've never heard of this until I moved to Arizona. They got a BYOB liquor license.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
They
the
did
thing.
not
Why
have
wouldn't
that in
Arizona have
California.
that?
That's the thing. I like those shows.
And they limit you to, I think it's like one bottle of wine per like 4 guests or like 3 beers or something. So what I do is I bring my cooler and then I just include everybody in that patio as my guest.
Yeah.
Well played.
It's a lot of fun, and we run a little late there sometimes. We've done some live podcasts over there and packed that patio out.
I like that you said 3 beers for every 4 guests. That seems off to me. Like,
No.
2 guys are sharing a beer.
No. 3 beers
Lady in
per
the Tramp
person, I
style.
think it is.
2 straws.
And then the bottle of wine is like for the table, but you got to have like 3 or 4 of age drinkers there. What else we got? And like I said, I'm like the only old guy in the room.
I hope you have some more ribs in that bag.
No,
I'm mad about the ribs. I want to talk
I don't
about
see
it.
anything
Also,
but
the only
shake.
guy with with sponsors. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Was it Ellen? Ellen was your name? Yeah. Ellen, do you have a CD player
She did back
anywhere
in
in
the
your
70s.
vehicle? Tell you what, I'm going to give you this. I'm not going to throw it. Billy, can you bring that over there? Blaine Long, musician, great songwriter from The Voice. I don't know if you guys watch The Voice. He is doing a lot of
Every
shows in
episode.
and out of Prescott. That is his latest CD. It is excellent music. It's just great to listen to, so check that out. And one final sponsor, the Elks Theater in Prescott, Arizona. The
love the
Historic Elks
Elks.
Theater. Candace Devine, who was on my show last week.
Okay. Hey,
shout
Candace.
out to Candace.
Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter. She was one of Christina Aguilera's backup singers for a number of years. She's toured and opened up for all the major. She's traveled the world. She has a new EP coming out, and she's doing a live show October 13th, live at the Elks Theater. Candace Devine. Joining her, I believe, will be Blaine Long that night, as well as Drew Hall.
Synergy.
Drew Hall is the best guitarist I have ever seen play. And I have seen many big shows. He is incredible. He is the best guitarist nobody knows about.
With all due respect, you haven't seen me play yet. I don't know how. But
Come on,
you
Rob.
haven't seen me.
It's a roast. Okay.
Okay.
What if I'm a savant? What if I'm just naturally
No,
good at it?
The only thing you're a savant at is drinking and falling down.
And being over 5'6".
Oh, it's a roast.
I've got
Timberlands
a
and
couple of
5'7".
cards here. If you happen to be in Prescott on the 13th of October,
Ellie's killing it right now. She just showed up. She's getting all the good stuff.
Candace
Right.
is a fantastic singer and songwriter. She really belts them out. CandaceDivine.com. And when I first met her a couple years ago, I assumed her stage name, Candace Divine, the Divine Miss Divine,
Yeah.
whatever. No, that is her maiden last name. She is really. Do you guys know who this? Again, I'm old.
No, did you
do you
check
know
her
who
idea?
Do you know who Andy Divine is?
Andy, like the
You'll see
workaholics guy?
No,
Adam
no, that's
Devine.
Adam.
That's Adam Devine.
You know,
Yeah, that's what, okay.
It's a very popular, talented family.
I like how we're having a
The
history
Devines.
lesson right now. This is
Andy
great.
Divine is the Andy Divine Boulevard when you're going through Kingman to the airport.
Got you.
He
Okay.
is
Words
a-
I don't know.
No, that's
Kingman?
dope.
I don't know.
No,
Kingman.
he was a
Sorry,
country
Kingman.
western actor. He was in
sure
all
you're
of
nice
the
town.
old John Wayne movies and everything. And then
Okay.
if you remember, if you've got kids, or Rob, if you've still got them in your closet, if you're familiar with the old Disney cartoon of Robin Hood,
Yeah.
he was Friar Tuck's voice. I mean, he has been, and
awesome.
it
I
sounded
love
just
Friar
like
Tucks.
that, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I
that's
love
her
Friar
great
Tuck.
That's
uncle.
dope.
So
He's
she
the
is
best.
of
Like the
the
Robin Hood
famous.
cartoon.
The last time I watched it, I was on acid. What's that? I mean,
What's her
great
name
movie
again?
to watch on
Candace
acid.
Divine,
That's
great
dope.
niece of
That's like
Andy
a level
Divine.
of Candy Crush. That's dope.
Yeah.
And as she pointed out to me on our podcast, she goes, if this music thing doesn't work out and she's got to go to stripping, she doesn't even have to change her name. Candy Divine. Come live on stage.
She could drop the Divine part at that point, though. Like,
Oh,
Candy
my.
would work.
I'm gonna start throwing quarters at strippers. I'm gonna start doing that.
You can't do
That's
that.
gonna be my new thing.
You know
Just
what?
don't use the
I'll tell you
slingshot.
something. I'm gonna tell you something. In Canada, they like welcome it because
Toonies
they have
and
like
loonies.
their dollar and $2 bills a coin. So like they're just like, yeah, throw me them bucks.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
they're
it's
all
dark
about
enough, you
they're
can
all
fake
about
it.
coins.
I like this. I like where this conversation is
You go
going.
to Canada.
We've been
Okay,
going
I got a
almost
question.
10 minutes. We
You wanna
really
throw
should
quarters
start
at
the
the
show.
I got a question. No, I want to back up a little bit. So this one, I don't want to be racist.
Back
but like,
to the ribs.
What? So as a black man, like
Yeah, where do you live now? Iowa? I think you turned in your black card already.
I got like 10% left on the card. So you know, what,
more punches
what
left.
makes a great guitarist? Because you're like, this dude is the greatest I've ever seen, and like, what is it about him?
He can play so many different genres.
Okay.
He teaches. He's got a couple of his students that are not even out of high school yet that got record deals. What? Jazz, fusion, hard rock, classical, everything. The guy can
He's a
play
student of the
everything.
instrument.
He is just incredible.
Plus,
Wow,
his
okay.
lashes are beautiful. Like, if you've ever seen when he blinks. Like,
You're just jealous.
am.
You are
I
just
can't play a
jealous.
single
I gotta
See,
say,
and
like,
that's-
it's something about
and
a
I only have
guitarist.
9
like,
eyelashes.
I
fall in
can't-
love with it.
I can't play an instrument at all. I've tried. I just don't have it in me. I have trouble playing CDs.
I used to play the violin when I was in elementary. I was dangerous.
I was second
dangerous
chair
on the
viola,
string, baby.
dog.
See, I play viola,
Second
too.
chair viola.
viola.
We got an orchestra going on.
I tried violin and
We
I
play at
hated
Mumford and
it.
Sons
And then
concert.
my mom and dad said, "You have to keep
Not
trying.
a
You
day
have to.
there.
You have to. You
Right,
have
right,
to."
right, right.
Then he heard me play one day, and my dad says, "You don't have to play anymore." That was my third grade venture into elementary school orchestra. It was horrible.
Got
It was
you.
horrible. So when I see somebody
That
who
can-
is talented and can play and make it look like those thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours, he is in the house. I've never met him before, but I'm going to bet that is Big J.
That is Big J.
Yeah, Big Irish. You walk in,
Irish,
everybody
Big
knows what's
Irish.
up, baby. How you doing?
Big J
Good to
Irish
see you,
in the
man.
building. How you
Jay,
doing?
can
Pull
you
up
be
a
can
chair.
you be radio clean?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, take my
What do you mean? Can you be
No,
radio
wait a
clean?
minute.
We got mics. We got mics.
No, we got more.
We got mics. Get
I like
him-
how we always you
Let
always
him
pull up
use
a
your
chair.
boom
This
mic.
is like
We'll turn
TV.
the
I like it.
purple-
We're 10 minutes in. We should really start the show.
We haven't.
Let's.
Holloway,
Oh
Hey,
my
baby,
goodness.
what's up, baby?
where do I go?
getting into
Let's
it.
start
There's a mic
right
right there.
here.
Hop on.
Introduce
Let's just do everybody.
yourself, Rob. We're going to go around the table. I want to know who you are and where people can find out about you.
Rob Maebe, you can find out about me at robmaebe.com. Or if you go to my Twitter, at Rob Maebe, Maebe, you can see my most recent tweet because Twitter deletes all my other ones for some reason.
We're
It's
on.
like a bug.
We're good. We got
And what do you
everybody.
got going for the festival this week? What are you going to be on?
I'm
Just
gonna be
everywhere?
everywhere, yeah. I'm gonna try to meditate for a little bit at some point. But yeah, just find me.
Meditate. It's a
Meditate
great
is-
word for it.
Is that your way of saying not off from the acid or what?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
I am doing acid tomorrow night.
Wait. We're radio
Room number
friendly.
17,
We're
everybody.
radio friendly people. No acid.
Hey, no, it's not live radio.
But it is going to go on radio.
Yeah,
You like
it can.
clean?
I
It goes-
just
it
I
goes
just
on
hate
radio.
editing.
It goes on radio.
Yeah.
Go on radio.
I mean, you can talk about acid on the radio, right?
Yeah, it's those
2018.
Part of that word, right? I'm right.
Yeah.
Should I introduce myself?
Please
Yeah.
do so.
Literally
Welcome.
just.
Flip your mic. I think your mic's off. Flip it.
God.
There you go.
Oh, that awful joke didn't get on the mic.
It didn't. I'm sure the game's trying.
It's a roast.
So the mic's on now. Just a little bit of a. No, all right. So we literally just drove 7-8 hours. I came right from getting off the freeway. We checked in and immediately came here. Haven't had time to rest.
That's awesome.
Just for you, brother. I'm
Thank
here.
you. Are you drinking? Who's drinking?
They have Guinness?
Who needs a
I'm
drink?
Big Irish J, by the way. BigIrishJ.com
Guinness.
as far as what I have going on right now.
They do.
I have no idea. There's so much stuff. Go to BigPineFestival.com.
Big Pine
so-
Comedy
Good job.
BigPineComedyFestival.com.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. BigPineComedyFestival.com. I like I said, my brain is like fried. I'm getting feedback. Too much? Oh, no. Is that there's
think it's
reverb,
just-
right?
Hey,
But
I
like-
mean,
Are you an
don't blame me.
audience member? Thank you. What's her name, dear? Ellen's here, guys.
She's won all
You
the free
two back
stuff.
there? Audience members? Or no, you have a bag. You're lying to me. You're a comic. All right. Why are you? Wait. Why do you have a bag?
I like the shirt. I see what you're doing. I see that advertisement, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't need the attitude. It's cool. I mean, what's your name? What's
Calm
your
down,
name?
sir.
Brian and Misty. You ever seen Play Misty for me?
Oh God!
It's just a movie, Clint Eastwood.
Bike
Sorry,
back
I make
off.
references from the '60s, guys. You gotta keep up.
Matt was doing it
Yeah,
earlier.
you came in right after my reference to 1940s cowboy movies. So
Oh, dude, I'm right on time. Anyways, I'm already hogging this mic. I'm Big Irish J. Thank you to the sponsors that are here.
Round of applause for them.
We've already lost our one audience member. She's texting. Oh, great. It's just like all my shows.
Oh,
Oh,
She's
okay.
also my
Oh,
sponsor,
on your
by the way.
phone?
Yeah.
No, but she's giving me $10 after this.
that's dope.
She's your AA sponsor. She's
yeah,
not doing too well.
she's failing.
I love it. Hey, what's up? It's Day Peace, Comedian Day Day. You can find me on all the social media platforms and excited to be here. I was here last year, and I was here last year for only one day because I had a gig in Tucson.
We get
Yeah.
it. You work.
I
We
know.
get
I'm
it.
trying to be. I'm a big deal.
Success.
And so
I
I'm a
have
big
so many
deal.
questions for you, Dave, but we'll get to
we'll
those
get there
in a minute.
But
Say your
but
name
this-
again?
Day Peace.
Day Peace.
Yeah.
All
I feel
right.
like
I'm here for the entire.
Oh, God.
Which
That's
name
fresh
though?
off the
Which
press.
name? I'm gonna cut you off here. Which name? Okay, we've got Adam Peace.
That's
We've got
Adam- Adam's my
Day-Day.
middle name.
We've got Dylan. Oh, and also Dylan, our bartender. Dylan, thank you, Dylan, for the drinks.
Sláinte.
I have not
Don't
seen
be talking about
somebody,
my government
I
name.
have not seen somebody with that many names who wasn't in Witsack.
My
What's going
government
on?
name?
What?
roast. It's a roast. Okay,
No,
first of all,
and then you're living at what? Idaho?
Iowa.
What? Same
I don't know
thing.
why I said that with pride. I don't like where I'm
Well,
at. It's
I mean,
sad.
Idaho. There's
Dreams-
a
that's
lot of
where
white
dreams gonna
supremacists
die.
in Idaho.
You must be
Lots.
what? 60% of the minority population up there? What?
Well, like, yeah, I am. It's pretty sad.
You and
It's
Dante,
pretty
right?
sad.
Is Dante from up there?
Dante
Powell?
Powell, shout out.
Shout out
Okay,
to Dante
real
Powell.
quick.
I think of him every time I eat Cheerios. I don't know why.
my mom spelled my name wrong. So, does anybody else got that problem?
No,
No, my
knows
mom's
who I
straight.
am.
my mom, she can read and write.
My mom was on drugs. Like, she told me straight up, this would happen.
Well, now this is a little sad, but okay.
I'm being honest. So, my real name is Daylin. Daylin.
Daylin?
That's my first name.
Yeah, she
Daylin.
misspelled it.
Daylin.
Is there a hyphen?
Did she want a daughter?
misspelled
No, first of all, that name is killer in Detroit.
Oh, we have 2 more audience members.
Welcome,
What's
welcome.
up, guys?
Have a seat.
We're getting to know everybody. What's your names?
Hey,
Slade?
No, Slade, you thought about that. You was about to
Yeah.
give us something else.
Because you hate saying your name
Yeah,
in comics, huh? No, I
nobody
believe you. I get it.
believes it.
Slade and who? Helen. Oh, with an accent.
I want to say
That's
officially
beautiful.
we have more audience members than the House of Comedy Crack House podcast.
Pam, 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 pam,
did.
pam, 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 pam.
I can die a happy man, and there's a good
sir.
chance that might happen this weekend.
Nice.
Rick Bronson, get your numbers up.
All right, so whatever your name is,
yeah, so-
Daylin.
So
Daylin.
she saw Bob Dylan, like she saw him on TV, and she saw the name Dylan, and she was like, "That's a cool name. I'm gonna name my son Daylin." So she named him Daylin Adam Peace. and that's why I went by Day.
What I respect most, though, she was like, I like the name Dylan. Now let me black it up and call it Daylin.
There's not enough consonants in that name.
Daylinqua.
All right, who's next? Who's next to introduce themselves?
We'll go around the room, but I'm going to throw out, because we were talking about buying stuff in that earlier, buying mics and that. This is the Mile High Show podcast, milehighshow.com. Use that Amazon link for all of your online shopping so that I can afford to pay
Amazon
this
link.
bar tab when we're done.
Amazon link it.
All right, Billy. Who are you, and where can people find you? And tell us what you can about that podcast you do.
So, I'm Bill Laskowski.
You sound like you got people in your basement right now.
I do. I mean, I don't have a
Just
basement. I
about
live
to
in,
stand up
actually,
and tell
I
us how
have
long you've
one of
been
the
cleaning
few
sober.
houses in Phoenix with a basement, and subsequently it is called a murder hole. I mean, it looks like there's been like 20 killings down there. Like, it looks like something out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's awful.
Buy a mop.
There's a bunch of Angry Orchard empty bottles down there for some reason. I'm just like, who the was this angry bastard that was just mad? He can edit it.
So it's
He's
a
really
hangout
fine.
for the local junior high? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
it definitely is. It looks like there's a bunch of kids that smoke various substances down there, like Cranton. It's a fun one. You can find me.
When did you smoke it?
I mean, Cranton when I didn't have a medical marijuana card, definitely. I mean, that's that or Spice. You ever smoke any Spice?
No.
No.
Smoke Spice.
I had a
Cayenne
girlfriend once who like requested I smoke Spice over pot because Spice was legal. And I was like, "Do you want me to die?"
You have the same question. I
Okay,
do.
no, you go. Yeah, go ahead.
What's spice?
What's Spice? You don't know what
You used
Spice
to be able
is?
to buy
There's
it
a
at
group
the
of girls
Square
from
C
London back in.
Prescott.
Will you shut up?
One of them was
Audience like
All
that.
right,
That's
so
all that matters.
One
Right.
audience.
That's
member
half
like
the
that.
audience.
Hey now.
Spice is anything. They make like a synthetic compound for like ecstasy or MD. They make like a derivative compound, and then they spray it on like wild lettuce, and then you smoke it. And yeah, so
It's basically the weed version of his name to Dylan.
yeah, it's just someone just really ruining the name Dylan.
It's for when you're trying really
sounds
hard
real
and you
nice.
can't
That's
find
nice.
spike bath salts, right?
Yeah, I mean it. All right, so Spice is bath salts. It's just like it looks like pot, but it's but
you want
it's
to
bath
attack?
salts like sprayed on. I'm not dating this woman anymore.
I thought
honestly.
just people smoking lorries and stuff. This is
She's
weird.
buried in the basement, I think.
No, I just ate her face. It's okay. She got a new one.
I think you're doing that wrong.
Turn her over.
I run the Meat Sweats podcast.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that. And
Meat
your
Sweats.
co-host.
My co-host is about to lose his beard this weekend because he's going to lose the challenge. We both have very large beards. And I was like, we need to have some time. Yeah, it's beautiful. It is luxurious. isn't it?
I don't like people
Yeah.
with beards because
Right
I can't
now.
grow one.
Who's
Yeah.
listening right
We
now?
can
He's
tell.
getting his beard stroked, and it's very uncomfortable.
My
You may
nipples got
hashtag
hard.
me too after
I mean,
this.
I'm fine. It was welcomed.
He will in 7 years.
So we decided. I was like, we
might
just
end
normally
up in
sit
his
down and
basement.
talk with guests. Like one or two people, maybe at max. I was like, we need to have something to give people for Big Pine if we're going to do a live show. So we're going to do some challenges tomorrow at Dark Sky Brewery. One of them is shotgunning a beer. One of them is eating a McGangbang for time. If you don't know what a McGangbang is, it's a double cheeseburger.
It's the same question.
I've heard it, but I didn't know.
It's two Irish girls.
Take a double cheeseburger and you part the meat on the double cheeseburger. So you go half meat on each side, and then you shove a McChicken in it.
And then you force it down someone's mouth who doesn't want it.
Exactly.
Whoa, dude.
I mean, they want it. Those people are paid well, and that's what I'm going to keep believing and keep watching the content.
What else you got for the
And
challenges?
so the final contest. So it's a best of three. Final contest is Indigenous people's leg wrestling because we're in Flagstaff and we appreciate political correctness.
What?
It's leg wrestling. I mean, you never did like Indian
no,
leg
we didn't do
wrestling
any
as a
of these
kid?
things that you were talking
You
about.
know?
What's leg wrestling?
So leg wrestling.
What's indigenous people?
Well,
The views of Bill Laskowski
Yeah.
do not necessarily reflect
you have no idea. Every podcast I go on, someone says that every time I speak.
I just like the idea that Bill's going to finish describing describing his podcast tomorrow. Matt's gonna be like, "So we're out of time, guys."
You never mentioned who's your co.
Oh, my co-host is Matt Walker. He runs a show in Phoenix at the Grid every other Wednesday. Definitely check that out. Got to plug
He's not here.
stuff. You got to plug stuff.
You were
Filthy,
worried about me?
filthy.
I'm a filthy little man.
Twice already.
I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional.
He's been going all day.
Yeah. I haven't. I only smoked a little weed this morning.
Well, you had to because they're one of our sponsors. Right?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
festival.
Green Farms is a sponsor for the podcast. I'm just supporting local
that's great.
business.
It's gonna be amazing.
Now, who is this sitting to your right?
What's going on? I'm Kane Holloway. I'm the co-host of the Hollingsworth show that we'll be doing at the festival this Saturday at 4 o'clock. And it's just basically a talk show where I wish I could curse. I don't know how to describe it without cursing.
We talk about it, race,
Yeah.
what's
And
current
that's it.
events.
We talk about everything about race.
Now,
It's just-
with
we're
that
an alt-right podcast.
Oh no! You guys both are wearing New Balance right now. I should have known.
exactly.
with that race relations, is there any leg wrestling going on your
we
podcast? Maybe you
invite
could work
the
that in.
indigenous people
Yeah.
to come shotgun a McChicken gangbang.
What are the indigenous people of Boston? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah.
Pasty white,
Just white people and then whiter people.
Pure, good white people. I don't know. I'm doing a southern accent for Bob.
They're hard.
Good, pure
They're
white
good, pure hard white
Transparent.
people that work at the docks.
Yeah.
How can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Kane Holloway, KaneHolloway, or you can go to my website, KaneHollowayComedy.com.
Or hear him on the Hollingsworth show every
On the Hollingsworth
Wednesday.
show, yes.
I like this. Daylin here is taking some serious notes.
I wrote. You know
Daylin.
what? Don't. I got warrants. Don't use my real. Don't use my real
What's your
government.
middle? Adam, Dalen, Adam.
You should
How
keep
dare
that
you?
on the DL.
We're done here.
Yeah, no.
Can we call it the Dale?
We should have started earlier before you got here.
And that's our time for the
He's
music.
looking at me like, I hate that fat dude in the hoodie.
He's just not a fan of the Red Sox.
All right, hey Dave, what took you to the Great White North? How'd you end up there?
My wife.
Oh, you need to divorce
It got
her.
really serious. Just
You need to divorce her.
Or what?
No.
You mean green card or?
No, my wife. She's from this small town called Lake Mills, Iowa, and she's white, like crystal meth. So like, she
Like her?
Yeah.
She's high grade.
So when we moved to Arizona, like, is anybody married?
She's white.
No.
About to
Wait,
be.
married?
Oh, congratulations!
married.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I am. I have been married. Yeah. Rob was married 6
months.
6 months.
I was in Rob's wedding.
Yeah.
Held him
That
on his
might be
shoulders
why.
at his wedding and then on his divorce party.
And my
you-
birthday.
and his birthday.
Every 6 months.
Bill, had you been in my wedding, I don't think I would have made it to the 23 years that
You
we
wouldn't
just
have.
hit.
Congratulations!
It
You
would
would
have
know.
been weird because he
Because I'd have given you something that night, and she'd have been like, "All right, no, we're done, we're done."
Yeah.
But I'd
Something
love to see Matt on
penicillin?
your shoulders.
I could get it. I mean, I'm sure he was a smaller man at that time. I could probably pop him
not.
up there.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
I brought him one of my shirts in the biggest size I had. I was like, "What size do you want?" He's like, "The biggest you got." I'm like, "All right."
Now that is branding. Comedian
brand.
Day with a
Yeah.
cartoon of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
it
you.
looks nothing like
First of all, time out. When I made that shirt, that was all me all day.
I mean, but right now you look like Mr. T's gay son.
First of all, you know what? It's a roast, okay? Don't talk to me. You one of those kids, those Sandlot kids who didn't get to play. Like, don't,
I mean, it's
don't come over here.
fine. I'm still on the
Why does
Sandlot.
your cartoon character look like the dude on the Magic School Bus that couldn't go?
It looks like he just.
couldn't go on the field trip.
It looks
yeah,
like
yeah, he didn't believe in it.
it looks like Urkel's nerdier brother.
He looks like
It's a
he
round
just took one of
context now, or
those
you just-
Instagram
No, I got my glasses
emojis
right here.
of like that. What the are those called? Those
Good Lord.
Mark it down.
Who did that?
Come on, there's
This one
Day
make
Day,
the
you
air.
shouldn't be swearing on the
There's
podcast
children
like
and
that.
very immature people in this room.
This will make
Language,
the air.
Bill.
Thank you.
I don't
Thanks,
see a
Bill.
child. Do you see a child? He can beep it.
So anyway,
He hasn't gotten out of your basement
Oh yeah,
yet.
so I moved. So you get married, you compromise. So we came to Arizona, and we moved back. You
when
want to be
I
closer
so
to
much
home.
regret in that.
When I
Being
got married,
to
Oh, I hate
I didn't
it. I
do
hate
much
Iowa.
compromising. My wife pretty much did all of the compromising for the whole family. I think.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so as a married man or in a relationship, do you have something where you like, I put my foot down on this? You don't have, do you have, what do you have?
Whatever
Yeah,
she
her
lets
head.
me. Yeah.
That's why she compromises so much.
That's not. I didn't mean that.
No,
Immediate regret is my favorite part.
That was the quickest apology.
Yeah, Jesus. Did you lose a show on the way out there?
For me, the biggest challenge was work because
What was that? I rebuked you, demon.
Choke on his beer.
I think Rob
The
just
power
gave
of
birth
Christ
over there.
compels you.
Don't drop my mic, please.
I was trying not to spit beer on this high quality equipment.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Dude, it was $20 on Amazon. Spit away.
The
I'll put
longest,
my glasses back on.
the
I'll help
the
this
longest
podcast. eat the link.
the longest relationship I was in before I got married lasted like 3 weeks. And
What happened with you and that guy? Such a
I don't know. He went
killed
to
over here. It's killing over here. It's such a dumb, easy joke.
It's a roast.
So dumb. Dumb joke.
He went to Phoenix, found himself in a basement. We haven't heard from him since.
It was my basement. It's okay.
Full circle.
He's just
No,
hanging out.
I just
Is it
never. I was always working. I work a lot. I work typically 7 days a week. That's how I've always gone.
That's why your marriage has lasted
Well,
so long.
it kind
You
of did.
never
I
seen
had
her.
to. I had to flip that around when we got married. Change careers a little bit, and then I found myself in that pattern again, and it was really gonna either kill me or kill the marriage or both.
What career were you doing at that time?
The same one I'm doing now.
Okay.
Photography.
Okay.
And I got out of it for a while. I worked for newspapers in the San Francisco Bay Area. That was my my bread and butter for this is my 39th year slinging a camera.
In your career of taking pictures, what's the craziest thing you've ever taken?
A lot of news stuff, so there's a lot of accidents,
Nude?
fires, news.
Oh! I swear, I thought you said.
that's
I definitely thought nudes too.
Some of that years
I was
ago
hoping
when I was single.
nudes.
But,
It's way more interesting than news.
Would you be allowed now to do a nude shoot?
I just wouldn't because I also do a lot of work now currently for like school districts and things. So
hence the no
it's like
cursing.
What about
You could-
combining them?
no, you could look. Yeah,
The kids hear it at home already. Come on, they live in Prescott.
I hate school pictures.
you haven't had mine. Yeah.
This is the opposite direction, guys.
But I did. Probably the biggest story I was associated with was probably before most of you were born. The '89 Loma Prieta earthquake.
I was 6.
That leveled the freeway in Oakland, put a big chunk out of the Bay Bridge, and I arrived on scene in Oakland at the Cypress structure just before the fire trucks. So it was a pretty hectic thing. Pictures ran worldwide for that.
How do you get that call? Like that you get there before the fire trucks?
Interesting. I was working part-time for a local paper, and if you remember when you were 6, Rob, that was when the Giants and the A's were doing the Bay Bridge series.
Okay, it is the World Series.
Yeah.
My dad was at that game.
I wanted to be there,
Yeah.
but since I was low man on the totem pole at work, I couldn't get passed in. They said, no, we're sending everybody else. You're nothing on our staff. So everybody else was over there, and I happened to be driving through Oakland at a buddy's shop, and we were hanging out in front of his studio, and the world started rocking.
Right.
And I flicked on my scanner, heard a collapse a few blocks down, and I drove up and spent the night there. I ended up getting back at about 6 a.m. back to the newsroom.
You're like an
And-
investigative photojournalist.
Well, yeah, that's what I
now
did
you
for a
do
number of
this.
years. Now, I got it. Big
What a
Pine
fall.
Comedy Festival, bigpinecomedyfestival.com. But for side gigs, the weirdest one I shot, height of the crack wars in Oakland, and I got hired to shoot a funeral at a church right on Martin Luther King. And if you know
What are
anything
you
about geography,
insinuating?
I'm guessing Martin Luther
They had a
King's the
car
white
wash to
neighborhood.
pay.
yeah, that was a really nice gentrified neighborhood. And me and a buddy showed up, and they wanted to pay us in product. And at the time, that seemed like
yeah.
a good deal. So we took half in cash, half in product.
I'm hearing this right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
No,
were
definitely.
thinner.
No, I was like the only obese coke fiend in the Bay Area.
That's not good coke, then.
No, it was.
Lot.
Trust me, it was.
Definitely didn't have laxatives in it.
It was good.
The fact that you
anyway,
have a 39-year career means it wasn't good coke.
but at this funeral, the guy was a victim of a drive-by, teenage kid, and we walk into the church, and it was open casket, and they had bottles of booze lined in front of the casket. a lot of dope. They had stuff packaged up.
They put
That's what they
coke
wanted.
on the body?
No, lined up.
You're just doing a line off the coffin. It's like, wow, he's really broken up. You're like, no, it's just
you.
That's actually what they use to separate the aisles.
You
That's
know
what
you
they,
got
how
a
they
problem
showed the
when you're
hallway.
flushing your nostrils out in the back of the church with the holy water.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, you can neti pot coke in? Is that what you just told me?
What is happening?
There's so much about drugs I don't know.
Me too. Apparently.
Halfway
nostrils are
through
a
this
saint,
funeral,
just so you know.
they brought a bunch of the buddies around to pose around the casket. So I'm standing up on top of a pew, shooting down so I can get the kid in the casket and the people behind it. But the angle wasn't right. So they started to move the casket a little bit.
Stop it.
And he rolled out.
No.
Is there a right angle for taking pictures with the guy in the casket?
Yeah.
When they are all packing any way they tell you is the right way
true.
to shoot a kid in the casket.
It was not going to go any better.
Well, this story didn't start out too great. With I was at a kid's funeral for a drive-by, and then I was doing coke with holy
Coke
water.
was lying down.
Eventually, there's got to be a crescendo.
You
to
never
this
done
story.
a Coke Holy Water neti pot?
No, not at once. One time at
Kids
off a
today.
glass
I
coffee
can't believe
table.
you're from Boston.
This is going to change this. I don't know. I don't think it's too morbid, but like,
Wait, before you go, Jay, what are these notes you're taking? What is this? What are you doing?
first of all, I'm just.
What are the words that he has
all I
written
did was
down?
write names.
Look at you.
Just names?
Just in case we need to
Teacher's
do
pet.
Just in case we need to do
I
a
did. I
callback to
fought.
Bill doing Spice.
I forgot his name already.
Kane. Jay, all right.
Look at his name tag. Oh.
It says Paolo.
Yeah, they gave me the wrong one.
They gave me the wrong one. So, Big Pine Comedy Festival, BigPineComedyFestival.com. You can see me, Kane, Paolo, I, Holloway.
Is that number one or I?
I think it's
I know.
Pablo Warren.
All the Palos that come here.
Oh my god!
Mine says if found, return to Jack Galvin.
It is.
I like how they wrote it on too. Oh,
No, I don't even have one. I'm nobody.
I'm going to change mine so it says Daylin. And I'm just going to be Daylin.
You know what? I'm gonna stab you in your ankle. Like, don't do that.
Hey, don't no stabbing in our room.
What's the
We're all
worst
staying in
thing
the same
you've
room. You
Oh, yeah,
can't-
staying in the
I don't
same
want to deal
room.
with no
I've
blood.
Yeah.
Worst gig I've done. Ooh, I did a gig at a. I can say this. I think you might have done the gig too. Down in Portland, Oregon, there was a sex club.
Oh, yeah.
So you walk
Swingers
in.
Club.
Yeah, it's a swingers
No.
club. So I have to. I gotta think ahead as I say this.
What
story
did it
so that
smell
nothing dirty
like?
comes out. So
did
you
it
walk
smell
in,
like?
and this guy's giving you a tour around the club. First thing you see is a hot tub with like 6 naked people that you don't want to see naked. And you're like, okay. And they're like, come on. And you're like, nah, I'm good. You go into another room, and there's I don't know how to say this clean. So there's a guy laying on a couch, and there's a woman doing something to him with her hand. And you get introduced in the middle of this happening, and she goes to shake your hand. You're like, no. They're showing you, yeah.
Did she really try to shake your hand?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What a soldier!
Think about. Has anybody seen Bruno?
Yeah.
One of
Oh,
the
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Bruno.
So the very last scene at the Swingers Club where they're showing everybody.
Oh yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't yeah.
Yeah. So think about that
Sexualizing?
scene. Now put yourself in there where Jay is now walking around, having to be introduced
Yeah,
to people
big
doing
6'8"
that.
dude. And then now that he's showing us, these are our rooms, which are like, they're like just closets that
You're
are like.
staying at the
roads
club?
are
No. I'm not staying. These are sex rooms.
Oh, okay.
That have
you
windows
meant
that
your
you can.
rooms.
You can,
Oh,
like,
no,
look
God, no.
in?
You
It's like
can
a
just
racquetball
watch as
court?
people are having
I
sex.
would love that.
Then they take
It's
you
like a
upstairs.
racquetball court for sex. You just
They take you upstairs,
Everybody
and
done
it's
yet?
just a room full of naked people. Everything is out, and they're like, "Yeah, so here's the stage,"
I
and
was
you're.
gonna say, where's the stage at?
It's just in the middle of all these naked people.
So are you doing jokes as they're having coitus?
No, luckily not up there. No,
Okay.
no.
Is there a pole on the stage?
No, but there was a bunch around me. Okay, you get it. All right. No, there's no pole.
I just picture as you're walking around. Have you ever been in a movie theater after a kids movie and the floor's just really
Oh,
sticky?
God, yeah.
That's what I'm
The
picturing.
floors, the
Cool.
walls, the couches.
Why did you tell
my
me
face
about a
for some
sex
reason?
club? And
Like
your
that
first thought
library
it was like
scene.
kids movie theater.
No, just with all the soda and junk on the floor, you're walking.
There's
Don't
a
wear
lot of junk
flip-flops
on
to
that floor,
gig.
too.
Yeah, I would say
You guys remember the beginning of Ghostbusters? It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
I've only seen the all-female Ghostbusters.
I would say it's either that or I did a corporate gig that Bellevue, Washington Parlor Live Comedy Club wasn't in the It wasn't in the comedy club. It was in the lounge, and it was on a Sunday at like 3:00. Seahawks are playing. I go up to the lady because corporate gigs you just want to get it over with.
Yeah.
So it's like show's supposed to start at like 3, and I just want to get out there. So I go up to the lady. I'm like, so where do you want me to do this? She's like, oh, you can just like walk around. I'm like, I'm not a magician, like a table magician. So what I did is I stood under the game on the TV above my head, so I at least felt like eyes were somewhat coming in my direction, and for 30 minutes just rattled off my set, and then good night. And then
smart.
People were like, oh, was somebody doing comedy? Oh, yeah. I mean, like...
It sounds like my every Tuesday night, honestly.
Dude, you're in the middle of a setup. You're like, this next joke, I mean, it's kind of personal to me. My grandfather, he had Alzheimer's. Seahawks scored! Woo! Like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
That was
I had one of those walk around gigs. Tell your jokes as you walk around.
Yeah, you're not a
that's the
one-on-one
worst.
comedian.
That's the worst thing.
They are the worst.
That's where you started, Pacific Northwest, right?
I started in Boston. I started in Boston, and then I was in Seattle for like 4 or 5 years, and then moved to LA like 5 years ago.
Nice.
So are you guys like diehard Patriot fans?
Oh, yeah.
He is.
I'm all Boston. My dad played for the Pats in like 66, I think. He was a split end, and so that Celtics. I was in 2008. I was at the game that the Celtics beat the Lakers.
Oh, nice.
To win the whole thing.
Was that
and then,
Game 7?
No, it was like I think it was 6, and they blew them out by like 40. But, yeah, I'm all Boston sports.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the sporting atmosphere like in Iowa?
There is none. They don't have. First of all,
they got college sports.
I don't rep Iowa like this.
He was
They got
on
college
team.
sports. They have great wrestling in
I came to the town. They're
Iowa.
like, "Here's our quarterback." Like,
Iowa has
show up.
great
You got tennis
wrestling.
shoes?
Best wrestling in
They
country.
lifted me up and carried me. No, Iowa's college is really big in Iowa.
Yeah.
College like Iowa State, it's huge, but there's no professional sport.
Minor
team
league
there.
stuff?
I guess so.
You don't know?
I'm a Detroit. Like I'm a Detroit. I rep those teams. I do like the Jets though.
I don't claim Iowa, but Detroit now.
Detroit's where it's
people
at.
that still live there. Like,
Detroit's where it's at.
We should do a check-in. Helen, right? Yeah. How are you, Ellen? How are you doing, Ellen? All right, just
can we
checking.
get you anything?
She got so much free stuff.
Gentleman in the Wisconsin football. What was your name? Ron? How are you doing, Ron? You look like you're just one word from us saying something where you're going to just come over about, that's it, I've had it. And then
You do look like you got a temper, like a bad
No,
temper.
Ron. Honestly, Ron is the biggest comedy fan in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, dude,
He's the biggest fan of comedy. Ron's a cool dude.
Comedy meetup group with 700 members.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ron, you're great.
Ron's the man.
Yeah, way to make fun of the
4,000, Rob.
But who's
And
counting?
Ron last year, give it up for Ron. Last year, Ron was awarded. What was the title?
Best of the fest.
No, that was me.
Best comedy
He
supporter.
was invited up on stage at the green room. Received
Oh, dude.
his
Well, you're the man,
trophy.
He got a mug.
And I
Yeah.
think
Great.
all that is changing since they've invited me to do a podcast here. You're not coming next year. Did I just? He's
It's
like,
a roast.
If this is what it's come to, they got mad up there. I'm not coming back.
After all that, now does it make you feel worse that he hates you so much?
No, now I'm just like, I'm just hearing all that, and I'm like, Ellen, you really need to step your game up. You heard what Ron's bringing to the table.
Ellen, if you could just stand in front of him, please.
We've got
God bless you, Ellen.
She's Lord. She's not also a member. She's the
VP,
president.
She's the treasurer. Ellen looks like she'd be good with money.
Yeah. So shut up.
You got your wallet?
You can't tell
She
him
lifted
who's
it.
going with
Right?
money.
This
They're
is
all
great.
gonna ask
She ain't
for
getting much.
Give me a bad gig for you, other than your walk around gig.
Don't say this one.
anything.
Well, the
in
night is
Iowa.
young. Yeah.
No, I'm telling you that one. The reason why it's fresh, it's still fresh. You ever like you've been in a bad relationship and the wound is still fresh?
Yeah.
The gig happened
My
in
wife
December.
has.
No, the gig happened in December. It was just like what he said. It was one of those bar. They actually have it set up for a stage, but for the show they put tables and chairs in front of it, and there's no focal like you can't. There's nowhere to stand. It's like walk around. So we had to walk around and do a show. I had an opener, and he had to do 20 minutes. I ended up doing 30 minutes, and the deal that we made was we had to do an early show and a late show.
Right.
So after the first show went insanely horrible, we still had to do it again. So it was horrible. I hated it.
How's the scene over there? Comedy scene.
It's horrible. I hate it. Hate everything about it.
What city are you in?
So where I live, I'm 2 hours from Des Moines. I'm 2 hours from Minneapolis.
Okay.
So I'm literally like right on the border. Minneapolis
going
has
up
a
to
great scene.
Minneapolis. I was going to say, I'd be going up to Minneapolis.
I
way
do
more.
like Minnesota. I think they
got Acme. They
it's
got
great.
a House of Comedy.
There's
They
a
got
House of Comedy there.
They got everything.
It's really great.
Can I make a guess about your living situation?
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
Let me make an assumption about your life, motherfucker.
dude.
No.
Go ahead.
I didn't
do
finish
you
it.
own a house?
No.
Damn. I figured because the reason it sounds to me because I was I lived in Seattle, but I lived at least 2 hours away from most of everything. But that's because I own my house.
Okay.
Like in this
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of bum town.
We get it.
It's a way to do it, though.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if you own.
I mean,
you're
that
married,
that would make sense. So,
Yeah,
like, that would
so
be.
you rent an apartment and then travel the 2 hours. No. What do you do?
We stay. We
A
stay.
Buick. What?
We stay with her parents.
Oh, okay.
No.
And they're even worse. So my mom.
Dave.
So my mom. So my mom. You know, I'm from Detroit.
At least Bill's got a basement.
Real quick. A couple years
I
ago.
I rent an entire property.
A couple years ago, when I was in Arizona, right before we had our first kid,
There's
my
slacklining
mom
space.
came out from Detroit to live with us in Arizona. After I left Arizona, my mom was like, "I'm not staying here." So my mom moved to Iowa with us. So in one house right now, it's me, my wife, our two boys. I have a 6-year-old and a 6-month-old. I would say Monica. That's my wife's name. Her parents and my mom all live underneath
Oh
one
my
roof.
goodness.
God bless you.
Wow. Oh my.
Yeah. When we have sex, it's weird.
Sounds great.
Say that.
How big a house?
You know what? That's my worst gig.
That is your worst
That's
gig.
my worst-
You live your worst gig every
It's a
waking
big
moment.
white people house.
Like what?
you can
square
Whoa,
footage.
This is not a typical white people house.
whoa,
That is not a typical white people
it
house.
has like 9 rooms.
I don't know what
Oh
you
my
think a
good-
typical white
That's
person is. It's not a typical white people house.
Are you living in the only Iowa projects or what? What's going on?
Like her dad built it from scratch,
Ah.
so it's one of those houses where they kept expanding.
I live in a very odd house that we just bought. We just closed on a few months
Congratulations.
ago.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm a grown up.
Why that seems so dickish?
That's just what I sound like.
2,600 square
But
foot
I'm
home,
genuine.
2-bedroom.
What?
Yeah.
You have a
That's
huge
what-
living room?
I have 2 huge living rooms.
I was gonna say, do you
and
have a-
2 huge bedrooms, and it sits on an acre. And I got a big barn, garage, studio.
That's cool. I wanted a barn.
Place where my wife
that
makes
one.
me sleep.
Oh, I want a barn
sometimes.
so bad.
She
She makes you sleep in the barn?
Sometimes. Well, she doesn't make me. It's just that's where I fall down.
When she makes you sleep in the barn, does she go sleep in the barn, you pig?
And that's when she's having a good day. But no, it's
Sounds like a lovely woman. Like,
12. She lives with me. Come on, how could? Yeah, she's a hateful person.
23 years, huh?
23. We'll hit 24 in April. 24 years. You got 2 kids?
Yeah.
We had our first after 15 years of marriage.
What?
I was 45 years old, 44 when he was born.
That's a
How old are you
lot.
now? How old are you now?
I'm 52.
Okay.
You look great for 52, honestly.
What?
What are you doing later?
Just the face.
You just
Hey, fat don't crack.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I that whipped my life around huge when he was born.
Yeah.
How did yours change? How did your life change when you how many kids you got?
2. So
Are you sure?
Wait. I gotta
Are you
know.
sure?
How many kids do you have?
2.
Okay.
Dude,
It's like the 9th time we've asked him.
real quick though.
I wasn't listening.
I just have so much trouble believing it. I've known Day Day for a while, and I mean his name's Day Day.
I'm a grown up. Like I handle my. I was
no,
about to-
Not according
I
to the
handle my
picture on your
business.
t-shirt.
I handle my bit. You know
From
what?
now on, you call him Daylin. All right.
You know what?
Sorry, Daylin.
I'm a grown up. No,
Daylin, I'm sorry. I'll use your
2 boys.
grown-up name.
So you said you're getting married?
I'm getting married soon. Yeah.
But no kids
No, no
yet.
kids. No.
When's the date?
July next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna have- Are you gonna have kids?
I don't know. She wants one. I want. None.
She wants one.
How long you guys been
So
together?
she wants a pretentious kid.
Yeah, she wants one kid, and we've been together 7 years. And
Why'd you decide to get married after 7 years?
that was like the burn off period.
You had to. I get it.
Yeah.
I
that
was the same thing. We were together for 8 years, and the lease was almost up, and I had to do it.
You got to do something.
You
got
got
to
your
either buy
purchase
or
option.
You gotta
trade
do
it
it.
back
Yeah.
in.
Man.
So, but no, I mean, I love her and she's great.
You know,
Good for you. Good for you.
you
Good
know,
for you.
The ladies are
if
getting
you
so much
want
love on the
kids
podcast.
and she wants 1 kid, you're accidentally going to have a kid exactly when she wants to have a kid.
And you know
It'll
what?
be triplets.
Yeah, because her family has got like a string of twins. And,
Oh, no.
yeah.
So
She's-
Rob, experienced as you are, what kind of advice on marriage can you give to Hello?
Don't marry a whore.
Hey, you can't say that word.
There goes that wedding.
Get your deposits back.
It's a roast. It's bad when she's
my favorite
I mean, you
thing.
had a good run.
It's bad when she's both the bride and the bachelor party entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that great?
Hey, all jokes aside, yeah, don't marry a whore.
Okay.
One of my favorite things when Rob met his future ex-wife. We were hanging out with our buddy Boog, who, God rest his soul, passed away.
Oh, but
Boogie, yeah. So Rob comes up to Boogie with this chick, and he goes, "Hey, this is the chick I'm seeing right now. Her name."
Backstory, real quick. I had a bad habit of only seeing girls for like 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah. So he goes, her name is, and before he could say her name, Boog goes, "Wait, how long you guys gone out for?" And he goes, "This is the first date." And he goes, "I'll learn it after 3.
hey, rest in peace, Big
then he
Boog. That's my
died.
dude.
Rest in peace,
Before the third
Boogie.
date.
That's
Yeah,
my
he
dude.
definitely
That's
did.
my dude.
Boogie, we miss you.
He was awesome.
How about you, Jay? Single, right?
Yeah, it's it's hard dating comics.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, I'm like, I always on my online dating profiles say that it's hard dating. I mean, date night's usually Friday or Saturday night. Usually,
Yeah.
I'm at a club, or I'm, or you're out on the road, or you plan something with a girl and like all week. Oh, looking forward to it, and then I just got a spot at the Haha for $10. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cancel on you. Yeah. It's $10. Yeah, but I mean, it's a spot.
Yeah.
So
Go
I
ahead.
told my current girlfriend, I was like, being a comic doesn't ruin relationships. Last minute bookings do. Because they're like, finally, we have a weekend. I'm like, I got to go to Colorado.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it takes a very special type of woman to date a guy, or a comic, that
agree.
it's like,
I agree.
or a guy, I guess. Fuck.
Now you worked with Fitzsimmons earlier this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I work with Fitzsimmons a lot. That's
Greg
my
Fitzsimmons,
buddy. Yeah.
the Fitz dog.
Yeah,
You
he's
guys stick together. 'Cause-
Now
he's the best.
he talked about you on his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
What?
He's crazy.
What?
Like he talked on the podcast
You
that I'm
have-
like some. I'm like getting all this,
Yeah, you
all
have
this
no
action
trouble.
on the road from Tinder or whatever. He's I think
just
he
an
called
old
it
married
Twitter
guy.
too. I think he was like, oh, he's on Twitter getting all this action. I'm like, who goes on Twitter to hook up? but no, well, there's a couple reasons this story happened. Like, I think I had a girl come to the show that I had matched on Tinder, so that was one thing. Then we're at another show. This was in Seattle, where I was living at the time, and there's a beautiful black woman in the audience, which
Oh, yeah.
I'm known to date women of color.
So he walked
yeah.
right past her, and
So he told security, get out.
One too many.
Didn't you see my rider?
So Greg's on stage, and he just he notices her, and she's real pretty, and he's like, "Oh, you're very pretty. What's your name?" And he tells her, and he's like, "You saw Big J, Big Irish J?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "He loves black women." And she goes, "Oh, I know. We used to date." And so that was like, yeah. My favorite Fitzsimmons stories, which the comics will appreciate this. We're doing a casino somewhere in Northern California, and I do my set. I'm featuring for Greg. I do my set, kill it, and then I'm doing merch. I sell shirts, right? And then Greg's on stage, and he has like 3 of his books left that he's selling. So I'm setting up the merch table for my shirts in his book, and Greg's on stage, and he goes, "Yeah, so I sell these shirts after the show, and 10% of all the profits goes to the Wounded Warrior program, so." With Jay's shirts, I guess he just keeps it all, so I guess America's just supposed to defend itself, huh, Jay? I was like, that fucking asshole. But he's the best. Oh, wait, there's one other Fitzsimmons stories I have to tell.
Oh, my
Because
God.
I love
Bleep
Greg.
that. We'll have to bleep that.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So,
Take a note, Day-Day.
timestamp it.
Timestamp there.
First time we worked together in Bellevue, Washington. Had a great weekend. Clicked. Got along great. End of the weekend comes. Greg's like, he's like, "Do you have my number?" I go, "No." He goes, "Here, take my number." I take his number. He goes, "Hey, if you're ever in LA, give me a call. I'll see what I can do." Great. About 3 months later, I'm in LA. I text him, doesn't reply. So I'm not going to be a pest. I don't call him. I just leave it alone. Three or 4 months after that, he's back at the parlor. Great weekend. We go downtown. I take him to Pike Place Market, all this stuff. End of the weekend, he goes, "You got my number?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, if you're ever in LA, give me a call." It gets better. He goes, "Give me a call. I'll take care of you." I go, "Okay, cool. And are you going to ignore me like you did last time?" And he goes, "Did that really happen?" I go, "Yeah, I was down there. I texted you. You didn't respond. So I just, I didn't call you, or I just let it go." And he goes, Okay, cool. So you won't be weird when I do it again.
The thing about the
So real.
He loves black women. Oh yeah, I used to date him. So I'm doing a show in Phoenix one night, and I get on stage, and I do my set, and I notice this girl off the corner of my eye, and I get off stage, and I walk out to go smoke, and another comic comes out, and he goes, "Do you see that girl? She looks like a suicide girl, half blonde, half black hair." I'm like, "Yeah, my ex-girlfriend." And sure enough, she came out, and he goes, like, she comes out, and she's like, "I didn't know you were going to be here." And she starts to walk off, and before she can, the first comic goes, "That makes sense. She's with, like, a fatter Mexican version of you."
Jorge? What?
I was there that night,
He
and
has such a good
it definitely happened like that.
Take a little turn here because it's going to tie into our ending sponsor here. I forgot all about it.
You have an ending sponsor? Just keep showing off. All right?
Well, no, this
Right?
is a wannabe sponsor because I'm going to try and hit him up for a deal, and you'll know why in a minute.
If you're promoting him and he's not paying you, he's never going to start paying.
Yeah, he will.
He might.
Never do something
Positive
like that for
thinking.
free.
Anybody here ever have any near-death experience?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
lots.
yeah.
What do you got? Let's hear from you,
Paulo.
Pablo,
He's died many times on stage.
yeah, off stage is what I meant.
I had a guy run as fast as he can and uppercut me in the jaw. And
Were you in Mortal Kombat?
yeah. He went full speed, ran as fast as he could on the baseball field. I was playing baseball, no big deal. Killed it.
I think it was softball, actually.
How is it weirder that you were, like, if it happened on a baseball field, it was just the middle of the night and you were cutting through?
Yeah, what if I was
That's
like
weird.
at ice skating dance practice?
Oh, my
and some guy
goodness.
just
I gotta
blasted me
hear
in the
this.
dome?
I gotta
So
hear
anyway,
this.
so I'm arguing with his friend, and this guy has no idea what's going on. So he runs as fast as he can, and he just blasts me in the jaw. He knocks me out immediately, and on the way down, he breaks my jaw where he hits me, and then he snaps my jaw up here because he pushed this side of my jaw up into my skull.
Best money I ever spent on Fiverr.
Oddly enough, the girl at your worst gig broke her jaw similar.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So then as I fell, and then I woke up, whatever, and I had to get my jaw wired shut. But I went to the doctor, and he goes, "Yeah, if he would have just aimed like an inch higher, he would have killed you."
Oh my
So
God.
that's my near-death experience.
What the? Crazy.
Next time.
How about you, Jay?
I don't know if it's a near. I'm allergic to aspartame, which is
What? It's in everything.
that's
which
like
is
the-
exactly.
Poor boy.
And the way I found out is
I gave him some aspartame.
Yeah.
on purpose.
I was going to get
Diet
you.
Coke.
I was going to get
That's
you.
what it was. I was doing the protein diet or Atkins diet, whatever you call it, with my buddy. And typical. This is like
Those
10,
were all
15 years
foreign
ago.
words to me. I have no idea
Yeah.
what you just said.
Obviously.
So yeah. You don't know protein? All right.
He just doesn't know the word diet.
So my buddy, just typical guy, like, my buddy's doing it. I didn't read anything. My buddy's just like, "Oh, I'll just tell you what to do." So I go, "All right." And he goes, "Yeah, to curb your craving for carbs, just drink diet soda." So I'm like, I went from never having a diet soda to now I'm doing like 7 or 8 a day. And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm starting to walk up the stairs, and my right leg starts going numb. And it's flowing up my leg. I feel the numbness flowing up my leg. I get to the top of the stairs. I wake up my roommate, Aaron Yates, and I was like, "Dude, I think something wrong. Is my leg's going numb." And again, typical guy is just like, "Calm down. Your leg's just asleep, you hypochondriac. Just go to bed."
Yeah.
So I lay down in bed. It's now in my hand. I feel it flowing up my arm into my cheek. I call
Oh, my
911.
goodness.
They come. The paramedics get there, and they go, "So what's going on?" And at this point, I can't talk. I can, all I can put together is I just go leg, arm, back,
yeah.
head, and I just keep repeating that. So they look at Yates, and they're like, Is this him normal?" He's like, "No." So they whisper a little bit, and then they go, "Okay, we don't want you to be alarmed, but we think you might be having a stroke."
Right.
Or I think they said MS or cerebral palsy or something. I was just like, after they said stroke, I kind of checked out. So it's going to get way too long. So just long story short, they take me to the hospital. They're asking me the time, and I'm saying, I'm looking right at it, say the wrong time. At about 6 in the morning, I throw up. Never had a headache or anything. Neurologist comes in, looks at the MRIs and everything, and he goes, "Yeah, you had a migraine with aphasia." And I was like, "What's that?" He goes, "The aphasia is what causes you not to talk." So I started figuring out it was from the aspartame, and it happened like once a week for the next 2 weeks, and then I cut it out of my system, and I've been fine since. So I just avoid aspartame.
I like that you had to diagnose yourself after every doctor was like, "No, I think it's cerebral palsy." Like, you know you have cerebral palsy from birth. Like,
Dude, it was terrifying. I guess that's the closest I had to near death.
Other than moving to Iowa, any other death experiences?
Being black in America?
Well, I was driving down the road, and what happened? Nothing. I was just driving down the road.
That's pretty much it, man.
Asked a cop for directions.
It's a bad move.
It's bad. I feel like I live in the movie Get Out. Like it's a really bad. I remember. I don't know. I don't have any like someone told me I was going to die, but I feel like I'm going to die all the time. Like
if you stay in Iowa long enough, somebody's going to tell you.
It might happen. Like my wife's father, like they leave their keys in the car all the time. Like that's a thing. Like,
what? Right?
That's the thing.
It's Iowa. Everybody's so friendly with you.
And you're right there in the house.
But they give me crap because I don't leave my keys in the car, and I try to explain to them like
trust all those white people.
I'm not leaving my keys in the car. But here's the reason why, and they don't get it. I try to explain it, but they're not woke. The woke-ish, you know what I mean? I don't want to go to my car, and I don't want somebody to think
so soundly in their white neighborhood. Like
I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I don't want to go to my car and like open it, and someone looks and thinks that I'm breaking in, and it becomes a thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When I first moved there, like within the first month, we live in a small town. I don't know, it's like 2,000 people. I don't know what's like super small. It's super small, but the first month I moved there, I was walking my little dog, and like my wife, we got a little Papillon, and I walk him around. And
first of all, hold on.
What?
Don't try and put that on your wife.
That's your dog. That's your dog.
You got a little white
That dog sleeps on your asshole.
You know what?
That dog sleeps on your asshole. That dog sleeps on your ass.
I had to buy the dog
I'm just
before.
seeing if it'll come off.
Yeah, get out of here. And so I used to walk the dog at night, night walk, and then within my first month, the cops they follow me. Like they would literally follow me. Like I would go one block, and like
that's so shitty.
You know when you think like it's not, it's not,
baddie.
it's me, it's maybe me.
It's baddie.
But I literally did a circle on purpose.
Yeah, just to watch them follow.
Yeah. And so like after that, I don't walk the dog at night. And again, I don't know.
Just started doing like just some fun stuff.
Which is making the neighbors very happy.
What if you wore like a reflective vest?
That was the call. Like, hey, we got a problem. Can you fix this?
Now they're leaving their keys in their car and letting their children walk around.
Who's just got a construction worker vest?
My near-death experience actually involves J-Day.
You were walking his dog?
Yeah.
He had a collar around my neck.
Hood up, blackface, walking his dog.
Whoa, dude.
Never wear blackface. Was wearing the hood, though. No, when I first got into comedy, Dave booked me on his show. I was like 6 months in. And I was sitting there. It was the night.
So it was after your divorce?
No, his divorce happened.
No, 6 months into comedy, I still had hope.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the divorce is still fresh.
No, it's a year and a half. I've been separated 3 times as long as I've been married.
Who's counting, though?
I'm waiting out the
Who's
5
counting?
years to actually get divorced because I made a bet with my brother that I'd be married for 5 years. But I haven't seen her.
It's time to lose that bet. It's time to let it go.
Yeah. But anyway, so I text Day. I got a brain thing where occasionally it sends impulses to my heart like you're being chased by a lion when I'm sitting there watching TV. And normally,
so you have like anxiety or something?
No. Like my heart literally beats 3
Cocaine
times as
problem?
fast as a human.
And my wife had
human's
that
heart.
anxiety.
So I messaged Day and go, hey, I'm heading to the hospital. I'm having a heart thing. I'm not going to be able to come to your show. And he goes, hey, if you don't want to do my show.
You don't think of excuses.
So I had to post a picture of myself in the hospital and be like, hey, guys, had a minor heart attack. At 30. So the normal heartbeat beats between 60 and 90 beats. Mine was doing 215.
Oh, my goodness.
How do you...
That's just one constant beat.
Does that happen all the time?
No. So it ran...
Like right now?
Yeah.
I was watching the Steve Jobs movie, and it started happening.
And you're like, this is horrible.
There's so many turtlenecks.
Why is there 2 of these? And your heart's
when did we get the iPhone? So, no, it's random. And normally I can put my head between my legs and cough, and
That's the way I take
Unless
care
there's
of
something
everything.
in it.
Baby, I need you to put your
I
hands
had a
on my
rib
car real
removed so
quick.
I could do more than
Save my
cough.
life, baby. I need you to do it right now.
But yeah, the fact that day it was like, I want you to be on my show, and I'm like, dude, I'm having a minor heart attack. I'm not gonna be able to do your show. He's like, hey, if you don't want to do my show, you don't have to lie about
Just
it.
be honest.
That's so great, though. That's excuse me. That's crazy.
See, I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person.
I'm
What we were
I'm
worried
legitimate. I'm very fascinated about your heart thing. I got to
It's
know
called
more
super
about it.
tetrachardia. It's just my brain goes.
He just
"Run,"
wants to be
and my
super.
heart starts beating super
Is there
fast.
triggers for that, or is it just random?
It's just random.
They're gonna make a movie out of
Man.
you.
Unless, if I smoke a lot of weed, I automatically assume it's happening.
Nah.
Then I got a smartwatch, and I'm like, nope, 70 beats.
What's the today's
You don't get a
Wednesday,
smartwatch.
right?
Yeah.
It is Wednesday.
A week ago today. Actually, what time is it? Is it about 6 o'clock?
Is it this exact moment a week ago?
Almost. I ride
Are
a
we
bike.
loopering?
Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. 10-speed BMX. No, motorcycle. I ride a motorcycle, and I'm
Goldwing.
I'm going. No, big old Cowie.
Okay,
Big old Cowie
okay,
cruiser.
Vulcan.
Lot of Vulcan. 2000 cc
Yep.
chrome.
You're gonna need it.
I'm flying down the highway, which is our main street in Chino Valley.
Yeah.
Doing about 45. The speed limit's 45. So I was doing 45.
Yeah.
And I got
You
a
have to say that because this goes on the radio.
I had a blowout on the back tire.
Who was he?
That's the same.
No, that's not a blowout. That's not a blowout. That's just a blow.
Damn it!
And I thought I was going down, and I didn't. I was able to
was
keep
he?
it.
That was good. I like that one. Come on, that was great.
That's what's known in the industry as a
Very
callback.
good, Helen's
Eye contact
So
with
I thought I was going to lay
Ellen
the bike
left.
down. Was
Oh,
able
Ellen
to stay
Ellen
upright,
left.
and
She had to go feed her dog, she told me.
really freaked out.
Wow.
I get off the side of the road, got some guys to help me move it. I'm shaking. I call my wife because I was on my way to Prescott to do a podcast. I had my gear in the backpack, and I call my wife and I said, "Don't worry, but I want to let you know I had a little problem on the bike." And she's quiet. And I said, "So I need you to come out here with the truck. We need to." And she goes, "I'm waiting for the. Are you okay? Oh my God!" She goes, "How's the bike?" Is you got insurance on that, right?
Wow.
Thanks, hon. She also always reminds me that Arizona
You gotta protect the assets.
Arizona doesn't have a helmet law,
Doesn't.
so she encourages me to let the wind blow through my hair and have a drink.
Do you got a
before
good?
go
Do you have a good life insurance policy? Is that
Not
what it is?
really.
or-
That's what worries
You
me
do
even
now.
more.
Yeah,
No,
you definitely
she just
have a
wants
good
me
one.
gone, I think.
You know, she got off the phone with you and she called another dude you don't know. I was like, damn, it didn't work.
So that brings up our closeout sponsor,
Let's
where the
give it
bike
up
is.
for
Bob's Funeral Home. Are you close to death?
Do everybody you know want you to die?
Custom Raw Motorcycles in Chino Valley.
I got a
They have
motorcycle.
my bike there, and they just gave me the estimate, so I'm hoping that
You're gonna
with
knock a
some
couple
promos here, they
Let
might
me take a look at that estimate. I'll
might
ask
take
them
a
down.
couple
I'm good
hundred
at
off there.
reviewing those.
Raw Custom Cycles in
taking.
Chino Valley. Where's the website? RawCustomsAZ.com. Give Jason a call.
I got a bike. I got a
Sup,
couple
Jason?
bike stories. I
Well,
got.
tell me one. Tell me.
Let me give you one.
I like how you interrupt
the
the
worst
sponsor.
one. I'm gonna
really
sponsor
really quick.
because I've definitely had to take my bike to these
When he was 9, he drove a
people.
Schwinn. It was real nice.
No, go ahead. Finish the sponsor out.
Okay. Give him. No, I'm done. Raw
All right.
Custom Cycles.
Rock Custom Cycles AZ.
Ask
They
for
would have fixed
Joshua.
me up because, all right,
Jason.
nobody pays attention to you on a bike at all. Like if you're on a motorcycle, like people just do not see you. And I'm already 5'0", so like it's just a motorcycle riding itself down the road.
Do you prefer cruisers or like
I rode
bikes?
I
where
rode like
it's even
I
lower?
rode like a bobber. So like I rode a Sportster that had a Springer front end on it and like a bunch of engine work done to it. I love this bike.
Yeah.
And I was riding to work one morning and like nobody sees you. This dude in a Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad truck pulls out in front of runs a stop sign, pulls out in front of me. I hit
That's
him.
retirement.
I hit him 35 miles an hour
Oh, boy.
head on, and the worst injury that I had was I broke my feet because I came up and I headbutted the truck without a helmet on, and my bike followed me, and it endoed, and it had cafe pegs. So like you can have the configuration on a Harley is either like right under you is cafe, so your feet are like you're sitting on a bicycle, or they're highway pegs, so they're out in front of you. Mine were right under me, and the bike came up, and I was wearing like Sanuk sidewalk surfers, which are basically sandals, because I'm an idiot, and it broke both my feet. So I like fall, and he guns it and kind of drags me sideways. And I get up and I pick the bike up. Just so much adrenaline at this moment. Pick the bike up and just like walk it to the side, and then I just go over and start beating on this guy's window. Like I'm trying to break the window with my hand as hard as I can. And
your feet are broken, but you can't feel it. You're in shock.
I'm walking knife foot like I learned in karate.
Like I walk all the time.
Dean Jensen he was my karate sensei. He'd have been so proud with my knife edge foot. And I walk over and I'm beating on his window, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's sitting there writing, and he's got a check, and he literally wrote me a $20,000 check on the spot. And took me to the bank and cashed it.
Are you serious?
I'm not even kidding. He was just like,
I'll break both my feet for that.
This dude was drunk. He had like a giant gin blossom nose going on, and this truck just reeked like gin.
People that love to drink, meet me outside of Southside Tavern in the middle of the street.
So
I'm trying to get paid.
if you take anything away from this story,
Dude,
one,
that's an amazing story.
Wear a helmet. Two, pray to God a drunk hits you that works for the railroad.
And don't wear sandals.
Don't wear sandals on a
You
motorcycle.
cashed it, and you had 20,000 cash.
I had
He waited for you to
20,000
cash
cash.
it?
I paid the bike off. I fixed the bike.
Your feet are still broken though.
I went to work that day. I put my work boots on. I went to work that day.
Sandals.
I'm not even
Sucks
kidding.
because he's a tap dancer.
Your career is
They call me all Twinkle Toes.
I really hate that. There's nothing I hate more.
tiny dancer.
Did he take you to the
I
hospital
am the tiny
after
dancer.
the bank?
No, I didn't. I went to work. I went from the bank to work. I swear to God.
What is that?
I swear to God. I went
impressive.
to. No, I'm just Italian.
So I'm judging
We're the
you
Mexicans
right
of
now,
Europe.
but I'm literally walking around with a broken foot. And I'm going, I can't believe you did that, and my left foot's broken.
Yeah.
What? Why is this a thing? Why? Okay, wrap
a
this
small
up.
bone.
This is
There's
crazy.
nothing-
It's a white thing.
This
You
is
just see what you
crazy.
understand.
White people just
Stick
make sure
around
they
in
show up for
Idaho
work.
for some time. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, hey, if you spend 10 years in Iowa, you're allowed to walk around on broken feet afterwards.
Yeah.
That's the power you get.
I want to thank you folks for sitting back and
Yes.
hearing us jabber on. I want to
Oh,
thank
yeah.
Big Pine Comedy Festival for letting us take up space here. Let's go one more time around the horn. Just tell us your name and where folks can find out about you.
Yeah, my name's Kane Holloway. You can follow me on Instagram at Kane Holloway and KaneHollowayComedy.com.
I'm Bill Laskowski. You can follow me on Twitter at BillLaskowski.com or Bill Laskowski. MeatSweatsPodcast.com. Meat Sweats on Facebook. At Bill _ the other word for poop.
All right, I'll just put a link in. Yo, that's right on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Day.
Day Peace Comedian Day. You can find me at Day Peace Comedy.
Or on the front of a lot of shirts.
Or a lot of shirts.
Or posters. So
There's a sticker, too.
No. All right. Big Irish J, Big Irish J, Hollingsworth, BigIrishJ.com. Hollingsworthless podcast comes out every Wednesday, or Hollingsworthless show, I should say. And BigIrishJ.com. That you can see everything there.
Rob Maebe, that's Maebe. You can find me at Rob Maebe on everything or robmaebe.com.
All righty, and I am Matt Santos. This has been the Mile High Show. I want to thank Raw Custom Cycles and also Big Daddy E's Barbecue out of Chino Valley. If you
And
want to
what
get
about
some,
all the singers?
well, yeah, I'll put them in the link.
Yeah.
She didn't pay me.
Candace
She
is
just did
dope,
my
though.
show.
She's
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks for having me.
thank you, folks.
Matt.
I mean, I was the first to
appreciate
say it.
And
It's cool.
thank you to the Southside Tavern and our bartender Dylan for serving us up. Thanks, folks.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
California.